BMJ. Look, I have stuff today. I slept funny, I guess. That night shower really does it. Top of the new moon to you. I need to practice that. Top of the new moon to you, which was yesterday, but I was so heinously involved that I couldn't even make a video. I did make a post, a heinous post. Speaking to that, some people might not understand that I have zero money. So a move, I'm hoping that in 4 months I'll have enough for deposits, fees, moving utilities. It's crazy what renters. Okay, let me just say this. I've rented my whole adult life because I wanted to live in areas that I could not afford to buy a house. So in Atlanta, I lived downtown-ish. Kind of, for a part of it, I was in DeKalb County. And maybe I was in DeKalb County for the whole thing. But I stayed in one place for 9 years and chose to move to another place. Now that period of time also ended up being heinous, but that was probably Saturn stuff. So that I moved. I think I lived in that place for a year, maybe 2, but they raised the rent so much I had to move again. And something just popped up. So there was still enough of a timeline to have help. And I also had a job, and so did Mark. So it's not as scary when you have enough money to do it. But then we moved, and I stayed there 9 years. So it's not like I'm a heinous renter. There's an interesting creature. Oh, it's a bird. Maybe it's a baby. Maybe I just can't fucking see because they're pulling again. Always. Sometimes I can see and sometimes everything's blurry. But so the way Saturn has been hitting both of our charts, Mark and mine. Mark has Saturn in Aries. I have it in Taurus. But I've been being hit with Uranus since 2018. And that's upended everything. I have not been able to work because they had me on such heinous sex timelines. And then it's been working with Pateri and the OC. And the timelines were not any easier. So I cannot work. And we're living on Mark's janitor salary. So, well, and we keep, our 401k has been a magic purse. It's kept us solvent because Mark doesn't make enough. And we aren't even paying for a car. Our car is a 2005 Nissan Altima, and it just keeps running, but we can't even get oil changes. We had to buy 4 new tires in the last couple of weeks. I don't even know how we paid for that. Got the cheapest tire. And I'm a car girl. Whatever. So finding out that you suddenly your home base is pulled out from underneath you. At least this time there's 4 months. Last time there was less than a month. Now I know that P and the OC have us, but the way this went down as an earthling was extremely distressing, because it's one of those hoodwinks. You think you have a good relationship with the property company because I'm a communicator. And then all of a sudden you find out, nope, we don't like you. I just heard a Jeeves and Wooster reference in my head. We don't like you no more. Pretty shocking, actually, because I had thought I had formed a relationship with him, and just out of the blue, you're not a good fit. We're not going to renew your lease, and we want you out before, but we acknowledge that you have a release, that you have a lease. And so I have only been, it was October of last year that I had to start packing. But we didn't know if we had a place to go only a week before we had to get out of the other place. And that was the OC and P who had worked that out, but they didn't have enough timeline to make it easy. Hopefully this one's going to be easy, but I'm still so fucking angry. And that leads to, as we lose the Aries that we were covered in, we're going to be angry. P has said that as angry as I am, everyone's light, who you actually are, is extremely angry. And they're being as supportive as possible. A pull right there. And have even created something that they put like right here for the light to be able to express. And the light is you. A technique that I've used that I accidentally figured out from things like what Louise Hay said is to feel it. Whatever it is, to feel it through. And for me, I was sounding it through. To me, it feels like an electromagnetic push. But I don't think that can apply to anyone. But what you do is you lean into the feeling instead of trying to avoid it. And you are being supported. It's being pulled as that happens. But it will help the light you it will help the light you release some of the light anger, which is separate from the avatar anger. Country Time Lemonade. I'm all into all the fake shit now. The best part of waking up is country time in your cup. They're forcing me to be happy. So today was the first time in a long time that I've had a nice wake up. This is only the second time ever that I've had a lovely wake up, and it was they've pulled it out. Why do birds? Name that song. No, name that tune. Do you guys remember that show? I'm that old, but I'm also that young, depending on how old you are. Suddenly appear every time you are near. They played the whole song. Well, sang it. It was lovely. And then they did heinous things. Terrifying pulls. They are currently in the heart, getting trauma out. I could go on and on and on today, but I'm going to stop right now, and there'll probably be some more later, but there might not be. To be clear about the new moon yesterday and how heinous it was, I had to sit on the toilet twice for an hour at being handle-manned by people I cannot see. And having to pretend I'm not a human. Sitting and sitting and sitting. Doing shit like this. Like this. And this. Oh my God, that was a Jeeves and Wooster reference. That's Pateri. And the OC, I suppose. All right. I wanted to add that because yesterday sucked. I've gone on a philosophical bent with P. There used to be that I could finagle the system, so to speak. And that would be the astrology system, I suppose. And I could solve problems if it wasn't fated as some astrologers specify that some aspects are fated and you can't do anything about them. But there are other aspects. When something happens, you can wiggle around it. But what has happened since 2020 is we've moved from intentions of astrology into hardware of astrology, and that made it impossible. So we're in the coming out. And this is definitely fated because they want me to be in a better place. But it is also that it was not understood how heinous it is to have something like this happen. And it is also that they would not be able to, how should we say, je ne sais quoi, finagle people. People are being used to make things happen, to get us out of this heinous place. But they would not have been able to make the property manager suddenly not want me here if it had not been in him already. So they use what is available within each person as a walking out. And this is also that this person has no idea that this person has been on the world timeline with me to fix renting. But it might have been taken too far. And there are mistakes. It's all improv on the other side, but with a full picture story and an overarching goal, an overarching timeline of getting us out. But no one has ever gotten anyone out of such a heinous simulation. And mistakes are made but immediately fixed. But also the avatars are so heinous. We were in a box, in a box, in a box, in a box with stabby things. Our light got shattered We were dispersed within the avatar. No one could glom on to anything because we were so distracted. Dis- Distracted. Our light was shards, and they did not communicate. And that was the intention of turning these avatars into Ahriman robots, which happened. We'd lost the use. We were only moving because someone was having sex in us and wanted us to do something. And now this happened in 24, and it was the worst that it got before they grabbed. Apparently I endured enough so that they could grab, the good guys could grab it. I do not understand it yet. I don't know what I did. I just did what happened on the timelines, as far as I know. My point is, I thought he was my friend. I thought I had made such a cordial relationship with him. And he turned. And this is being acknowledged by the OC. And none of us have a choice for our reactions, for what we have, our behaviors, our considerations. They're all blood-filled. Nothing we think is correct, because this isn't really where we're from. So although I'm an earthling who needs money to fucking move from a place I thought I was going to be in for a bit, and if you want to help, I have a donate button on my website. Although I'm in this situation again, they found me this place within a week. They could find me something in 4 months. We did a GoFundMe last time. It took about $5,000 to move. And that was heinous too. We had ordered some people to help us move, and they bailed the morning of. And the OC found somebody to help us, but they were forced. I mean, this is just where we are. Although it's a lot better now than it was in October. Wow, that got kind of dark, didn't it? We are in a fucking dark place that's being lit. All right. Tickety-tonk.